folks. Thank you for joining me again this evening. I was going to say, Dan, you look dangerous with that. Cooking with Dan Luzzi. How are you?
Good, good. How you doing, Janet?
How are you?
Greg, Dan, how are you doing? So, Harvest Fest is over. Have you recovered?
Harvest Fest is over. Well, not yet, but no, it was a lot of fun. Day was beautiful, beautiful. And your mom makes great caponata.
Yeah, that's what I
have
heard.
to tell you,
I
Mrs.
know, that's what I'm
Luzzi, you're the
hearing.
best.
We're going to have to get that recipe, right?
Yeah, I think what we ought to do is have a caponata, kind of contest maybe. What do you think?
Sounds good to me. I'm a sure loser there, though.
Oh, no.
Especially if we have it anywhere within a 10-mile radius of Denville. I'm dead meat, right? Is it Ma or that rotten son of hers? So, any truth to the rumor about 3 of Greg's relatives winning the 50-50s over at the Harvest Festival?
Oh, no truth at all.
No truth
truth
at
at
all.
all. No.
This is what's getting circulated around. I heard that big one at the end.
Yeah.
Greg's mom or something. Was that true? Or
No, but you want to hear the funny thing? Well, maybe it wasn't too funny for the fellow who ran up. Someone had the same last name as the winner of the grand prize, and they ran up all excited, and it wound up not being him, but it wound up being someone else with the same last name.
You'll hear from his attorney from Newark. Unbelievable. Or New York, rather. Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, I tell you, they had a situation like that, worse than that, with a golf tournament recently, where they had the hole-in-one, and for years, they had a card they would give out if you had a hole-in-one on a par 3, where you hit it on in one shot, that kind of thing. And I guess it was a Cadillac at stake, and for years, the people that were running the golf course, I guess, were having it on the wrong hole. So the thing was sanctioned for another more difficult hole, but all these years, I guess, they've been doing it. So the guy knocks it in the cup, and they're trying to blow it off. I haven't read about the what's happened with that.
Yeah,
but is that incredible or what?
Ooh, ouch.
Ouch, ouch, right.
Okay, so what are we doing?
What we were going to do is we make a little, we've done it before, the tomato portion of it on the show, where we kind of make a salsa.
Okay.
And you see many times some restaurants around where you could get it at your friend's house. They'll make a bruschetta, where they'll either grill or bake off some thicker pieces of Italian bread, usually, and they'll season it, either with some garlic and olive oil or both. And they're a little thicker, and they coarsely chop some tomatoes, and you eat a bruschetta, right?
Right.
What we were trying to do is use a slightly finer chop, almost a salsa, on the tomatoes, and take the croutons and cut them a little thinner, and make kind of a cracker, a garlic cracker with them.
Okay.
It's good. They taste neat. It's a little different. It's not your basic corn chip that you're having, even though they're very good too. But these are really neat tasting, and you scoop a little. We usually maybe put a little espresso spoon with the tomatoes, and you put it on yourself, and it just tastes really neat. I like the fact they can last a couple of days. That helps too. But it's just, I was going to make a couple of those. I had to make some for this evening, and let me get that going. So what's new and exciting?
Nothing really too terribly new and exciting. It's just the same old stuff. Recovering from the Harvest Festival.
Can you imagine? I couldn't imagine that. Yeah. I can't even get I can't even get down there. Never mind coordinating. It's too much for me to even wade through the crowd. Never mind coordinate the thing. You'd be seeing me hanging off a lamp in the middle of Diamond Spring or Pocono Road there. When I cut these, I don't want to cut them like that. It's a little too thick and too thin. It's, I'm looking to get them about a 1/4 inch.
Okay.
All right. And we're just going to slice a few of those off. And I like, we don't use an Italian bread for this. We use a French bread, as you can see.
I noticed that. I was going to ask you about that.
Right. The other stuff is a little tough on the tooth once you brown it up a little bit. So this stuff that really breaks away easy on the tooth. You see those tomatoes we have going up there?
I was going to ask you, now, are these for the sun-dried tomatoes? I was just kind of snooping around and looking at these.
Yeah, we took them out of the oven just this morning, excuse me. And what we did is we've taken these plum tomatoes, and we've, a couple more I'm going to put back in for a little longer, but you can see where we've taken the seeds and most of the moisture out, and we've salted them, and we put them skin side up, and there's some moisture gathered in this pan down here. And using the pilot light overnight, they just dry out a little bit. So they aren't like, we can put them in certain dishes that will make a sauce out of it, and it won't interfere with the crunchy taste of these whole tomatoes, the water that they give off. They seem like they roll into the dish very nicely, almost like, they almost look like a pepper in there or something, but they're not. They're these oven-dried tomatoes.
And now you keep the skin on.
No, we take the, we'll take a couple, and I'll me put them back up here, and I'll just, all we do is we just take them down, which we're going to do a little later today, and we're just going to take the skin off them. And the tomato comes out, and it just works rather well. It's not totally dried out. It's got moisture to it and everything else, but not that overwhelming moisture content.
Right.
So we're able to drop a couple of these in a dish and reduce it and put it on like a red snapper or whatever we decided to reduce. And we just take the skin off. It goes down very easy. It's not crunchy. It's a real neat thing. And
it's not liquidy then.
right.
At
I
all.
use those
Yeah,
where maybe
that's
many people
a
would use
little
a sun-dried tomato.
Right.
They're a little drier and chewier than these. These are much more supple and they just taste great. But yeah, overnight we just left them by the pilot light. They're really neat. They're plum tomatoes. I guess I should get, we saute these in clarified butter.
Okay.
I guess I'll get some of this butter going. We melted down sweet butter, and the fat will come to the top. We'll skim that off. That'll burn, and the watery substance of the butter, the whey and whatnot, will drop to the bottom, and the stuff in between, that golden yellow stuff, is the clarified butter. And you can cook for a long period of time at a high temperature with that butter. This is what it looks like right there. Okay, all the fat is out of that, and you'll see when we get it to temperature, it's not going to burn. Not going to make a ton of it. We'll get that temperature up there.
It almost looks like a kind of jellyfish sort of
Right.
consistency, doesn't it?
Right, yeah. So let me whistle a couple of these off. You hold me in there? Thanks.
Sure.
Yeah?
Oh, sure.
All right. Whole as a pomace. You know what I don't do much with? I don't do much with the bounty of these gourds, these pumpkins, and the squash, these soups and that. I haven't really gotten myself together on that. Gotta get that together one of these years. You can do some neat things.
Yeah,
with
you
them.
really can do so many neat things. And now all the craft stores are coming out with books, and you know, Martha Stewart's got one out with all sorts of things to do with those carvings and, you know,
Well,
soup dishes
exactly.
and
Well, but I'll
terrines.
tell you,
and
go with some of those recipes. But I'll tell you, you have to really watch. These will expand after I get done.
some of this stuff is pretty labor intensive, you know.
Oh, please, that is. I have a big problem with that. And soup. I mean, you know, to make a really proper soup, especially a cream-based soup or
cream-based
something.
soup.
Oh, the cost and the labor is incredible. You know, on the one hand, you had some asparagus you weren't using, or a couple of vegetables you were going to get that together, but you know, it's by the time you're done making it, and the main thing is how much people's perception of you know, the cost of soup and that kind of thing. Got a little penne for our next dish we were going to make. All right, this is going to take a moment or two. Yeah, the soup, and you know what I've noticed too, sometimes with some of these soups, especially with these butternut swine, is the seasoning of it. You know, the getting involved, over-seasoning these things, like the nutmeg coming in here, or these basil, these strong herbs, you know, just some restraint, or at least put a little bit in, taste it, and then hit it again, you know. Trying to keep some of these powerful herbs and seasonings in check, you know, and I really feel like it's very important to taste things twice, salt things twice, but it's these herbs that people just want it to show up, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, it's like, oh my gosh, give me some ice cream, I'll put it over the top, you know, that kind of thing, you know. It's very easy to do.
Yeah.
We were putting basil in the bruschetta that we made here, that salsa mix. I'm telling you, this basil just took the whole thing over. We bagged it, and we just put some parsley in. And now the tomatoes with the garlic, a little of this onion, they do a lot more of the talking. I mean,
Yeah, parsley is a nice compliment. Yeah, basil's pretty potent.
Yeah,
I love it,
many,
but
many of these herbs. Rosemary. I did some potatoes at home, some roasted potatoes, and actually what I did is I roasted the potatoes in the middle of the afternoon, and then when we took them out of the oven, after they came out of the oven, I put a little bit of olive oil, some granulated garlic, some salt, and some pepper in a bowl, or a plastic bowl like that, and put the peppers in there. Then we took some rosemary, and we didn't roast it with the rosemary. We took the needles and chopped them right there and put them in as just an aromatic, you know, we didn't bake it up. So what I ended up doing was radaring the thing later after we took the roast out. We were getting ready for dinner at home. The kids are going in and out, and football and basketball and that kind of thing. Boy, but I'll tell you, it didn't take much for me to put this rosemary on these potatoes. They were just, forget it. It was unbelievable, the strength of the flavor there.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
really
yeah.
have to lay
Totally.
back. You know, if that's what you like, that's what you like. 9 gallons of rosemary, but it's unbelievable the how strong it is. Basil, rosemary, and then you lose the flavor. I was there to eat potatoes, not rosemary, you know. So I'm going to take a few of these. It's looking like it's getting the temperature, right? I'm going to take a few of these croutons here. These are croutons.
Okay.
Just going to whip them kind of quick in here. Want that temperature kind of high so that you
Yeah,
don't,
that
and you don't
Oh,
really
yeah.
have to go crazy with them, but just get them in and out. you
Yeah,
know,
they're
boom, boom.
very quickly browning.
Right. Heck, you
Nice
know, we don't
golden
even
color.
really have to worry about both sides. Just as long as the one side gets kind of golden, that's the main thing. And that's it.
There
know,
you
just
go.
Get them
Wow.
in and out of there. That's that. We're just going to drain them right here,
Okay.
and then I'm going to toss them to the other container where I'm going to season them. I'll do one more, I guess.
Oh, you got to do one more. That's
I'll
just
finish
about.
these here.
That's just about enough for me.
Right, I know this. We have 3 today here. We got Dan joining us, right? So I guess I want to start turning these a little more rapidly, right? Be very careful when you're handling this sort of thing. And you know, you can do this with oil. But I like the clarified butter flavor with this. It's really nice. There we go again. We'll take these out. And you know, sometimes you know you can take these in a bag also. You can put them in a bag and shake them up. You know, to make sure you coat things very evenly. That's very important.
Now, if you want to keep these for a day or two, how would you store them?
Yeah, that's I don't like. I like having them kind of where you have a lid on them to prevent you know, something from dropping on them, I guess. But you want to. I like to keep them as open air as possible. I
Oh,
would just
okay.
drop maybe a paper towel on them or something like that.
Okay.
Don't refrigerate them. Keep them out.
So you'd rather put a paper towel or maybe put them in a paper bag or something like that rather than to put them in like a plastic container with a lid?
Yeah,
They
don't
probably
do that. Like, yeah, put a seal them up. They
soggy.
get soggy
Yeah,
quickly, you know.
okay.
These will keep. These will keep. And they taste so good, you know. The main thing is that they're light. We'll let them drain for a little bit, I guess, and we'll get started on something else since we're probably running out of time kibitzing about this and that, right? All right, I'll just set that back there. We'll let these drain and we'll toss them up a little bit and see what they taste like, all right? I'll bring them over here. Okay. Let them sit for a couple minutos. All right.
Okay.
Enough of that stuff, huh? Put this back in
These
our
are in
bread
a
bag.
dangerous position right now.
No, right. That's right. Talk about putting the fox in the hen house there. Okay.
Okay. What's
Now,
next?
you got the football season, you got the tailgate going, you've got the sandwiches, you need something to augment it a little bit, something to, you know, like your side dish. You didn't want to have to worry about something you have to mess around with too much, you know, and what we have here is a pasta and salad combination that is served kind of warm at room temperature. In other words, if people were coming over at 2 and you were going to serve whatever, you know, kind of, you wouldn't put it back in the fridge after you made it. You know, and you can't sit all day, but it sits very well with these ingredients in it. We put a couple hardy lettuces in it, that sort of thing. And it's just a great thing for like, you know, you're watching a ball game or a more casual type of thing. Then again, you could serve it with something more formal too. Good.
Yeah, so you could kind of dress it up and make it formal too. You
Yeah.
know, it's simplistic and yet it's
Yeah, it's
I mean,
a
you've
lunch
got
you
a
could
lot of
serve for
things
the
going
girls
there.
too. You know, you
Sure.
could. Actually, it's something you could toss some shrimp that you had pre-cooked or some chicken. You can make a luncheon out of it. The main thing about it, though, its main thing is that you don't have to be worried about it being very hot or very cold. It's got some pasta working. It's got some great greens working. You know, it really could be a nice luncheon too. And if, like I said, if you wanted to toss a few shrimp in it or something like that, and it goes something like this. I've cooked some penne pasta, and I'm going to.
so
put
they're
this
great
pot over here.
for buffets too, bridal showers, that
Yeah,
kind of
you
thing.
can,
You know, anything
yeah.
where
The girls for lunch.
sure.
couple of cocktails.
Yeah.
Talk about those rotten husbands, right? Get that third glass of vino going. We're going to
Yep.
really let them have it, right? Okay, what I'm going to do is get this pasta very hot. See if I have enough water here to make this happen. Actually, I don't. So I'm going to just dump the pasta right in and get it very, very hot. And I'll drain it into here. And from there, we're going to toss in some, I've got some onion. I like to take the onion. You can leave it whole, but I'm going to chop this up just a little bit because I'm quirky like that. You know, I'm not going to mince it, but just kind of a coarse chop to it. And what I want to do first, while this pasta is very hot, is get certain ingredients in quickly and toss it with it. I want to break down the lettuce a little bit, break the tomato down. I've got some Parmesan cheese. I want it to melt that a little bit.
Oh.
We'll let this come back to temperature just a little.
And now the pasta was
Yeah,
pre-cooked.
you can do it right to order and stuff, but this is something you could do. You know, you can get something like the pasta out of your way. Or I have some asparagus here we were going to put into it. I pre-cooked that also. You know, you can't do this all one shot. What we're looking to do is just assemble. Okay. So anything you need to get in position, like this pasta, like that asparagus, you're going to do that. And of course, you can do 90 different things that I'm doing. I mean, there's cucumbers and, you know, so many vegetables. This is just something I happen to like to do, this combination. All right.
Well, especially now, like you said, the zucchinis and all that
Oh, yeah,
are really in right now.
Those
So
20,000 zucchini that you have hanging around, right?
Right.
You don't know what to do with. This isn't a bad play.
right.
And what's good about this is that doing the pasta twice like this is that I don't have to rinse any starches with cold water and whatnot.
Oh,
So if
okay.
I cook the pasta off, it's convenient for me, and it's also less starchy because a lot of that came off into this water right here.
Okay.
So it's I think it's a good thing. So what I'm going to do is put that pasta in here, and if I'm not sure, I try to keep the pasta on the short side. I'm going to add some of this Bermuda onion. You can add Spanish onion also. I'm going to put that pasta, this Parmesan on there right away.
Love
I want to
that
get that
Parmesan.
melting. Going to get some my little seasoning triumvirate here, this granulated garlic. You can use, you know, roasted garlic, right? You can use raw garlic for that matter. But I like this granulated garlic. Okay, I'm going to add these leaves. I got some green romaine leaves. They're very robust. They can stand up to the heat. But we're going to break them down a little bit in here. I've got some radicchio. They add color, a little bitterness to the dish, and they're also going to break down with the heat a little bit. Got a few sliced mushrooms, a few tomatoes. And now we want to just flip this around. I guess everything else I can add later. But the main thing I want to do is get this Parmesan melting and the flavor from the onions out, and the salt and the pepper, and get these. And we're going to put a dressing on here, so that dressing, the moisture from the dressing, is going to further wilt the lettuces.
And now you can see the steam from the pasta.
Right.
Kind of.
Right. And like I said, I don't like to put this back into the fridge. Any of these things that you're pre-doing, I notice. You can leave them on the counter longer than you may think. That's my attitude about it. Because I notice a distinct difference when some of the stuff gets back in the fridge and then you put it out and you try to do something else with it. Or somebody wants to now take this thing and put it in the fridge and do the whole thing the day before. And it's just not happening.
You know, the pasta gets hard.
Yeah,
Have
that
you noticed
whole
that? The
thing,
pasta gets hard.
Yeah,
The, the lettuce is wilted.
Exactly. The thing is history. It's congealed. You have to mess around with it. It's just no good. But if you can, just steal a couple hours, not 24 hours. I'm going to cut a few asparagus spears in. I love asparagus.
Oh, I do too.
Throw a few of those in there. Maybe a couple of artichokes. I think artichokes are a neat balance. I want to save a few for the top. I should put a few more artichokes in. Now I've got some baby peas here. So this is a salad. It's a pasta and a salad. It's not a mayonnaise base. And you can go and buy, you know, either oil and vinegar if you want, or maybe what would be better is a creamy Italian type of, I like to go heavy on the leaves to really give that salad effect. Okay, it's kind of, we've tossed the ingredients around. We've got the onion. The Parmesan looks like it's coating a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I have this balsamic vinaigrette. Now on sale. No. I've got this balsamic vinaigrette.
Don't get them going crazy.
Right, this was oil and vinegar. We put it in a blender, we emulsified it, and it looks creamy, but there's no cream in here. You can always add this again, so keep it on the short side. You know, you can always just taste your salad just prior to serving. And as a matter of fact, I would definitely keep this on the short side because you can maybe, you know, just prior to serving it, maybe I was going to garnish the top with a few more of these vegetables. So maybe we leave the garnish off, leave the dressing to the side, and then just prior to serving, maybe leave it in your mixing bowl and have your serving bowl to the side. Okay. Then maybe add a little bit more dressing to the thing, fluff it up a little bit, get it in your mixing bowl, and then add your garnishes and bring it out to the table. So you can see we're about half and half right now with the vegetable and the pasta, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I don't have a serving bowl. I can see already that this is pretty dry.
I was going to ask you where the serving bowl was.
I know.
Where's the serving bowl,
go with
Dan?
one of these larger plates here. I'll just put some of it out.
You just tell me when.
We're ready whenever you are.
Okay.
Yes, certain salads, maybe the ones that have arugula in them, those sorts of things, it wilts very, very quickly. This seems like it can stand up to a little more dressing than usual. But once again, I'm adding it slowly, and you want to see a little moisture in there. I've noticed, though, that my tendency is to have made it a little too dry. So there we have it. We don't have any garnish on it, but you got some nice colors working there. It's not cold and it's not hot. It's room temperature. Okay, see if we can get some of these ingredients on this plate. This is my serving bowl. I noticed the peas all managed to drop to the bottom, right?
Oh, that balsamic is great. What a wonderful scent. Oh, yeah.
All right, the colors are showing up pretty well here. Then what are we going to garnish it with? I've got a few tomatoes hanging around. Maybe get some more, get the color working a little more at the top of the dish. So we'll bring the reds happening a little bit. We'll go with a few more artichokes. Maybe circle them in there a little bit. A few more baby peas, dot the top.
Mm-hmm.
Show up a little more, bring it out. You know, now you've got your bowl together here. The girls are on the way over, or on the second martini. And we'll try a few asparagus spears. Maybe we'll get a little funky with the asparagus. Is that too much? No, they're not too much.
No,
right?
That's not too much.
Maybe with the asparagus.
Nice little touch.
Yeah, we'll put something like that. Maybe add another one on there. Now we need something for the center. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? We could put a pile of peas, maybe, right?
Well, either that or you could
put a whole mushroom.
Mushroom, yeah. Or you could maybe even rearrange the asparagus.
Yeah, no, we'll put one on.
There you go.
All right, either way, we got the picture, right? We got the picture, and that's it. This is a warm pasta and salad combination.
Okay, I've been munching on these during break, so...
Please, I'll be here for another hour and a half.
You better do something with them.
Boy, I'm telling you, I thought my wife was dead. I mean, I'm cooking, she's eating, right? Forget it. Hey!
Hey!
Yeah, so we got to season them.
Yeah, you better do that fast.
Season them up a little bit, yeah. All right, so like I said, you can put these in a bag. Sometimes when we do a whole bunch of them, we put them in a brown paper bag and season the top of them lightly, and we just start shaking it up, and you toss it all over the place. Actually, what's proper is that you put the ingredients in first.
Oh, okay.
The salt, and then you shake it up from the bottom. So I'll just to give you an idea. Well, that's all we're going to do. It's best that you do this when these are a little hotter than what I'm doing right here. I'm not going to add any pepper, but this granulated garlic is just going to cling a little bit, and we're going to flip them around. That's all it is. But these are great, and you can put a lot of different things on these. You can, we take a little steak and cook that off, maybe shave a piece on, a little dill horseradish mayonnaise. Put a little of that tomato salsa bruschetta type of thing with the crunchy cracker. You don't want to do it too far ahead of time. The water from the tomato, forget it. You know, these things will be soggy before you can blink your eyes. Some of Mom's caponata, I think, would go well with this,
Yeah,
right?
oh,
A little of
absolutely.
that.
Oh, yeah.
What else can you do? You can make
Mozzarella, tomato, olive.
that exactly. We'll
Yeah.
roasted pepper action. Slice a little lobster or shrimp on
Oh,
it. You know,
great.
a million things. And that's about that. You know.
Super.
So
Let's get on out to the table.
okay.
Okay. Well, here we are ready to dine. Our producers are telling us this is going to be a quick one. So, Dan, we got to wrap this up.
Well, here it is. And
Here it is.
now we got our pasta and salad. We put a little. First, we put a little of the tomato salsa bruschetta type mix onto the crackers, right?
Right.
Are you gonna have these when we're getting?
I'm going to be eating those.
And we add a little crushed hot pepper to those. They got a little zip to them. They're very nice. And here you see we have our pasta and salad. Could have added a little grilled shrimp, maybe stripped it julienne or some baby shrimp or something like that. Would have really made that a nice lunch or something like that, or a great accent to sandwiches at the old tailgate.
Right. Okay, well, folks, thank you for joining us again this evening, Cooking with Dan Leslie. My name is Jenna Rapasardi-Hoff. I'm with Dan Leslie, and we'll see you again next week. Cheers.